How about a nice montage to start this video? How about that, guys, huh? Welcome to episode number 19 from my Minecraft Survival Let's Play series. That's right, guys. The Dark Pyre State Building is finished. It is in as much of a nice state as it's going to get. It's just going to get roughed up from here. But man, this thing was a blast to build. This thing is huge. Let me toss up my coordinates. I don't think I can fly and land up on those chains again, but let's cruise on up here. Right about 215 blocks. That is amazing. Yeah, about 210. So not quite at the build limit, but you know what? I wanted this thing to be the tallest one in the city, and I think we accomplished that because this one, we're only at 152. So it is like way, way taller. Although it doesn't look like it. I do like the perspective though of the skyscrapers and everything around it. By the way, if you do hear the air conditioning in the background, I do apologize, but that is just going to have to become the new norm until the temperature, gets low enough that I'm not boiling my brain in my office. So do let me know if you can hear it. I might be able to play around with some of the settings, or I can try to run it a lot and then turn it off if it's really that bad. I haven't even gotten a chance to listen to this footage yet. I'm just jumping right into it and recording. Well, last episode, a bit of a, if you can even call it an episode. I went ahead and marked it down as episode 18, even though it was only, 10 minutes long. But what do we have planned in today's episode? Well, I have a lot of detailing work I want to do. I want to get this one aged up and this one, get it out of its pristine state and make this thing match our other residential building over there. As well as I want to get some villager trading set up. And kind of see what I have set up in here, and we'll kind of talk about it a little bit as I finish building up the cells. But oh man, we're gonna have so much room for villagers. I am ecstatic to actually have a little bit more organization than just the absolute mess that we have inside of our other village. So that, I guess I'll start things off by just kind of showing you that inside this residential building, I thought up here on the penthouse suite, it would be a suiting spot for our villager breeder. So let me hop up in here so you can get a view of our two little villagers in there. I just went ahead and built it up. This is a logical Geek Boy design. As always, there will be a link in the description to his video to make sure that credit is given where credit is due. It's not quite done yet. I just wanted to do the hard part of getting villagers in there, which that was no easy feat for sure. But basically what I did is there was one unemployed villager at the other place. So I just waited until night, and when I found out what bed he was in, I just broke it so he couldn't sleep, broke a hole in the wall, put the bed outside of it, and of course he wanted to go to sleep, so he went out to it, closed up the hole, and then just stuck him in a boat. Brought him through the nether portal onto the roof of the nether, so it was nice and easy. Then brought him in here, and then I used pistons to kind of like, lift him up. I put a piston in the floor, went up to the max height, built another one next to it, up, over, up. You get the idea. But did that twice, got both villagers up there, got the carrots planted, so letting those grow up. Then I need to add in the beds, and then the drop chute, which down here I did a little bit more work getting started on the sewer system. So I'll have our little holding cell right here where all the villagers will go, so they're out of range, so they can keep spawning. And then we will have a nice, wonderful sewer system, which I do have designed up in my creative world. And we're going to utilize the new mechanic that's mine tracks, can be submerged and still work. And then we'll go ahead and move the basalt generator, and then we will bring them down to a central sewer system. Oh boy, somewhere in the middle of the city, maybe like this intersection right here, and then we can branch them off and bring them into our trading hall, which is kind of weird because maybe it would have been better suited to build say the World Trade Center instead of the Empire State Building. But you know what? I thought this would be a nice iconic look. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get things started. I'm going to do a little bit of work trying to get these things aged up. And then another thing, if we have time, is I want to do some advancement hunting. We have all these new advancements for 1.17, and I want to knock out some of those as well as the other ones. Because let's see here. Nope, not that. Advancements. We're kind of a little lacking on some of these. That one's going to take a while. But, you know, I mean, that's easy. Why are we not knocking out some of these easy advancements? So yeah, if we have time today, I have every intention on trying to knock out a few of those. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead, do a little bit of work, probably off camera. Just, it's going to be a lot of up and down on scaffolding. Not really very good montage footage, unlike the reconstruction of the upper half of the Dark Pyre State Building. So with that, guys, let me get right to it, and then I'll bring you back in for a status update. Alright, status update. We can see that I went ahead and placed some azaleas kind of hanging over the top, and those are actually oak leaves down there on the bottom. But with us being in the mountain biome, they are very, very dark. So I went ahead and obviously left this stuff where I couldn't reach it. I went ahead and grabbed some acacia leaves, and I wanted to see what they looked like in this biome. So let's just swap out a couple of these right quick and see if they are exactly the same. Acacia leaves. Okay, well, it's either going to be all azalea leaves, or we're going to have this light dark mix, which, I mean, I honestly don't mind it. Man, you literally cannot tell the difference, can you? I mean, look at that. Besides the actual texture, there is no difference. Alright, well, we tried. But yeah, it's either going to have to be all azalea or oak leaf combination, which I'm going to play around with this some more and see what I can get, as well as I went down here and kind of roughed up the road some more, added in some dirt, tough moss blocks, mossy cobble, just kind of add that more grown over vibe that I'm going for, which obviously will be spreading all over to include the sidewalks. And I like how it's coming together. So I'm going to get back to work, guys, and I'll bring you in for another update. Quick little detour over here at our spawn area. We can see the iron farm behind us and then the creeper farm, which probably looks a little bit different to you guys. I just wanted to show you that I actually did a little bit of work over here. So I needed all this sugar cane so I can make more rockets for the last episode. But I did finally go through and clear out all of those blocks. So below that level right there goes completely down to bedrock, as well as I properly prepared a drop chute down to the creeper farm level, and then this little access will get you to the top of all of the sorting systems. But another reason why I wanted to bring you all down here is to take a little bath in this infinite water source, obviously. Is that if we were to cruise on over here, we can see we got a couple spider eyes, which might be a little bit of a hint at where we're going. But I actually, when I was lighting up some of the caves around here, ran across a traditional spider spawner. Not a cave spider spawner, unfortunately, but just a regular spider spawner. So I just made a quick down and dirty little string farm, and I actually am going to hang out here for a little bit because I need some string to tame some of the vines. So let me hang out here for a little bit, get myself a stack or so, and then we will go back over and take a look at the project. Alright, my friends, let's get a nice look at our Dark Pyre State Building. Oh, I'm loving how this is turning out. I kept all of the vines and moss really light at the top to help keep that forced perspective of this thing looking even taller. And then I spent quite a bit of time detailing out the roads, adding in all of this glow lichen and such, just really make this thing super overgrown and worn down. It's going to look even better when we have like traffic lights with moss and vines hanging down with it. I am absolutely ecstatic with how this looks. And then I also went ahead and finished out the villager breeder. So it should be up and running. Hopefully we'll be getting some villagers in there soon. And then I built up the collection point right down over here, inside here. And yep, it does look like we got ourselves our villager. And then I equipped it with a whole bunch of mine carts that way they can get sucked up and traveling down our sewer system. So right quick, I did want to take a brief little moment and go ahead and remap out this area. I think that we have enough progress in here, being our last map update. Was let's see, when was it? I moved the map in here and I forgot the date. It was episode 12. So I think that we are very much overdue for another update. So I went ahead and grabbed myself enough maps in the cartography table so we can go ahead and lock the maps. And I'll just kind of go through with you guys really quick on how to do this for anybody that's a new viewer that might not know. So you'll create your first map, and then if you want to, oh wow, that looks fantastic. And then if you want to get your maps right side by side, you just need to go far enough over on it to where your little arrow icon disappears like so. Then you can click your next one, and then you could just continue on that process. Oh, the American flag looks good too. And then you just do that on all the sides till you have what you want. So give me 1 second and I'll get these all mapped out. Okay, maps have been made and they have been locked in on the cartography table. So before we get a look at this updated map, let's just take a look at where we have come from. So this was episode number 12 back in May. And we can see that I had already done a lot of the terraforming, flattening it out, and I tried to lay out the roads initially. And then here's the updated one for this episode. What a huge difference. I'm definitely going to like how the deep slate doesn't come across as black like the basalt does. I think that'll look a lot better, especially once we get more of the roast. Unfortunately, you can't really see a couple of these buildings. They just kind of blur in. But that's where we're going to have to use a lot more of the creative approach, like with these roads, to add in that defining lines. And I also love how the flag turned out over there. I think that'll be a fun little memory for when we continue on. So I think it is about time for us to go right on into montage mode, and then let's go ahead and get some work done on this sewer system while we are running that villager breeder to get ourselves a whole bunch backlogged, and then we'll head over and work on the actual villager breeder. So with that, my friends, let's cue up that music and get this thing started. And just like that, we have ourselves a railway with a little bit of sewer behind us. What do you guys think about that? So, it's kind of hard to piece together from that montage, but basically this tunnel will connect all the way up into the Darkfire State Building, as we can see here. Which, before we go and look a little bit closer at the tunnelway, well, I wanted to show off. I did a little bit of work inside here, just putting together the general idea for the trading hall. This is not in its complete stage by any means. I want to save the decorating bits to this in the next episode. But so basically, you'll have the villager standing inside here. Their workstation will be under that, and then I have these slabs that way the XP can easily get to us. Stairs, shulker boxes above, which I will rename to whatever trades they are going to be providing, so that way it's nice and easy and everything looks clean. And then over here we have, this will be the elevator to the next floor, which kind of brings me on to what we'll be doing next. We'll be getting some advancements, because I accidentally got that one without even realizing. I thought that you had to fall, I think it was like 6 blocks to get it, but I didn't fall that far and it gave it to me. So let's go take a look at that tunnel, and then we can get started on some advancement hunting. So I think that the best way for us to experience the tunnel would be to just ride in it like the villagers would. So we'll just pop ourselves in a minecart here and take a little ride. I do like how the glow lichen gives this area a little bit of illumination, because otherwise this would be a pitch black tunnel. And I think it'd be kind of cool if we were to pop through some holes to the top to actually act like drainage. So I think that this thing came out exactly how I wanted it. And as you can see, we do have quite... Oh no. So sorry. So sorry. You guys are about to live a life of slavery. Let me just start this off by smacking you with my sword. I do apologize. But anyways, so yeah, I do really like it. It's just a pretty simple block palette. Just a lot of stone bricks, the mossy, cobble, and then just regular moss. And then I think there's a couple cracked, that I snuck in there. Then lichen of the glowing variety and some vines. And of course, we're using that new 1.17 mechanic that rails can now be submerged, which you don't get as much speed. So as you saw in that montage, I had to add lots more powered rails in order to get us enough momentum to carry through. Alright, well, I think now would be a good time for me to go ahead and put some stuff away, and then let's get started on that advancement hunting. Alrighty, my friends, it looks like we are about out of time for this episode, but what do you say? Let's end this episode off right and get ourselves some advancements. So since I won't see you at the end of the video, you guys know what to do. Go ahead and give this video a big old huge thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, do me a huge favor and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, everyone.